just remember when you're down and out, like I am today, we can't quit. One reason why I'm doing it is because I want this message to go to you, to let you know how much I care about you. Another reason why I'm here today is because if you are a professional, you have to rise above your own personal crises. I've proven that by being here today. Another thing is, I figured, I have to be here and do this because I cannot afford to ever back down or give up, or else I won't get to where I want to be. I can't afford it. It's rough. I can't afford it. I'm determined to get where I want to be. Before I turn this over to Chris or Annette or Bo, I want to let you know that I have been working towards my mission of getting on network television and or radio. And we got a book out, a professional book. And in that book, it revealed that the average yearly salary for a talk show host is at minimum $20,000. At maximum, it's over $500,000. Now, I have been doing this show for 7 years. If I were on the networks, I would have had at least $20,000 a year. If we calculate and we add that up, I would have made $140,000 since 2004. I would have been out of poverty pretty much 100% out. Not there yet. But why I'm telling you this is I want you to know that in reality, when I say if I get the talk show on Main Street, that I could get out of poverty. That's not wishful thinking. That's not delusion. That's a reality. The minimum is $20,000. Are we professional? Yeah. Do I have a college degree right now? No. But are we professional? The very fact that I'm here today shows you that I am. But I will tell you this. I need to get that gig in order to financially survive. And I will get it. I don't know how. Maybe all of you out there can figure it out and you can help me. And in return, obviously, I'm going to continue to help people. And you may think, well, he does this show and it's a great thing. And then, yeah, he helps people. But when he's not on the show, what does Albert do to help? Well, I do a lot behind the scenes with the little funding that I can do. But I also do a lot with my voice and a lot, I guess you could call slightly activism. So I'm always trying to help people in some form or manner. Form or other, I guess is the best way to put it. So yeah, I'm still doing it. You don't see it, but I'm doing it. Now, of course, we're not live today, but this will be online in the future. And I hope that you will watch it in the future. And of course, we're also on every Wednesday at, I believe, 2 p.m. on PCTV Channel 21. And this will eventually get to be in that order. So hopefully you'll watch this. But again, before I go, just remember that when we do the tagline, remember that you and humanity really does matter. Yes, humanity matters, but it's mainly about you. So keep the you part and use that to motivate yourself. Use it to inspire yourself. Use that to maybe go places you've never gone before. Maybe you have been depressed because there's a job that you've been wanting, you just haven't gotten that promotion. Remember that you've been validated. I know I'm just a host, but somebody knows that you matter. So now it's time for you to convince yourself of that and go to the boss and keep working to get that job or to go into that class. In the meantime, we're going to wake Chris up.
I'm not sleeping.
I'm teasing you.
I know.
Wake up, Chris.
Wake up the dead
We're going to go
too.
to Chris, and he's going to tell you whatever he's going to tell you. And I gotta look at my watch, because frankly, I'm not sure when it's almost time because of the new switch, but any rate, we're gonna go to Chris. A little bit later, we're gonna talk about something that theoretically is political, in theory, but we're not gonna talk about the political, possibly the political ramifications. So don't tune out thinking that's all I know how to do, because believe me, we're working on trying to actually do a funny show, and it's probably gonna be called either What You Say or What You Be Saying. We have 35 minutes, so we're good. So with that, I'm gonna take it to Chris.
Well, one thing I want to mention before I get started in doing what I do, I just want to let you know that you really matter.
Thank you, so do you.
Thank you. When Al was talking about crisis, and on the last episode, August the 2nd, I was also dealing with a crisis coming into this show.
Yes, you was.
And I was just, I was had 3 different admissions at Shady Side Hospital. And then from there, after the 3rd admission, they sent me to a nursing home. And then while I was at the nursing home, I didn't know about this crisis that came about until it happened at Shady Side, until after I was at Whiteman, and I'll explain you the incident. And I believe it was a violation of HIPPA.
Explain.
And when I was at Shady Side, there was a person that wanted to visit me, and they wouldn't let her because she knew I was there because I called in on the July 5th show. And I was calling in saying I was calling in from parts unknown.
Right.
And it was when we did a dedication to the vets.
Right.
And I called in and said that I was calling in from parts unknown. So meanwhile, she knew I was at Shady Hospital at that time.
Right.
And she was trying to get into a facility in Oakland, 2 different occasions, 2 different days, and they turned her away because she was dealing with a crisis. So when I helped her with her crisis in the past, helping her get services that she needed. Well, to make a long story short, when she's trying to see me at Shady Hospital, they wouldn't let her because she didn't have the room number or anything. She just knew I was there. So when I was at Whiteman Manor,
Whiteman Commons.
Yeah, Whiteman Commons. Thank you. I found her friends were calling me and says that I talked to her mother yet, and I won't reveal her name, but bottom line is, I says, no, I didn't call her mother yet, and they go, I need to call her, and I said, why do I need to call her mother? Well, to make a long story short, they called her mother, eventually called her mother after 3 days of dealing with the people saying that I should call her mother. And her mother told me that she was trying to see me at Shady Side Hospital. She tried to get into to this facility in Oakland, which some people call the big house, but because I was able to help her get into services, and she was so depressed, as people do get depressed. Right. And what she ended up doing is she went in her mother's garage and closed the door and had the windows open in the vehicle and had the motor running. And while the carbon monoxide was filling up the car, she got 2 heroin needles and stuck one behind each ear. They don't know what killed her, if it was the heroin or the carbon monoxide, but it was a combination of both. But she was 24, and I, like I said, I even helped her in the past get services, and even prevented her from going to jail because of her addiction. Right. But again, she's 24, but you got to look at the bright side. I told her mother, I said, at least she didn't have any kids, because the kids would be suffering. But she was 24, but.
So you feel that because they didn't let her see you, that they.
I felt I could, that because of that, I felt I could help her because I helped her in the past.
Right. Well, that's not good when people can't, get the help they need. That's for sure. And if they had let her see you, you probably would have. May have been able to save her life.
Yeah, because the connections that I have with Department of Human Services, I was able to. I feel I could have been able to get her into services if they would let her see me at Shady Side Hospital.
So what do you think needs to be done about that?
Well, I think that the laws need to be changed with HIPAA, because of the policy. It's there to protect people, but in this case, it actually harms a family because they were hurting, and also it caused a person's life.
Yeah, I believe that, but also I have to say, I've not been impressed. Unfortunately, I gotta say I haven't been impressed with any part of the HIPAA law since the inception. It was a good idea, but it doesn't only prevent what happened here that ultimately may have contributed to this person's death, but it also harms getting people help who may refuse it simply because of their issues, or medical or psychological issues, so that you can literally know someone who needs help, know what help they need, know how they can be helped, and because of the HIPAA law, can't get them the help. And it's harming people. I would encourage people to talk to the federal leaders. I don't want to go political, I really don't. But I think it's time that they do call their political leaders, and we have to either reform or eliminate the HIPAA laws. I would say reform. I'm sure there's some good parts to it, but certainly there needs to be a reform, or there needs to be some type of discretion allowed so that these things don't happen. Because if you have a patient that you know what their problem is, even though you're not a doctor, you know certain things.
Right.
You should be able to get that person help. But you have something else you want to bring up, a couple things. So why don't you bring that up, because we're probably down to about 25 or 15 minutes or 20 or whatever. And we got to get Annette in there. I'm sure she has some things to say.
Another thing is, what Al was talking about, there's a lot of people living below poverty and working two jobs. And we, in the past, we talk about slavery in the United States, but actually in reality we do have slavery, because people working 2-3 jobs just to make ends meet and living below poverty. So we need to encourage people to call their Pat Toomey's office, even though we didn't go political.
Well,
but
not just him,
but
other people.
right, but there was a rally yesterday which
Yes,
I couldn't
there
make
was.
it at Pat Toomey's office, and they were all screaming and saying, "Where are the jobs?" Because he promised that when it is part of his campaign, he says they did create more jobs in Pennsylvania, but one thing that we need to do is contact Pat Toomey along with legislators, congressmen, and say, where are those jobs that Pat Toomey promised? And there's also a governor in Texas.
Right.
I don't want to mention his name, but or should I mention his name?
I don't see, why not? Go ahead.
His name is Nick Perry. He
I thought it was Tom Perry.
well,
It was one of them Perry guys.
yeah. Well, anyway, he's a governor, and he created over 1,500 jobs. A lot of jobs he created, but the jobs that he created is people were being paid below minimum wage and no benefits. And those are the jobs he created. And if those are the jobs that Pat Toomey is going to create, then we don't need Pat Toomey. But we do need the jobs.
Well, I won't say we don't need Pat Toomey, because I don't want to go political. I will say not only do we need the jobs, I don't want to go political, but you put me in it, it's like the mob. I'm trying to get out, and you pulled me back in. He's like a mob guy. I'm trying to get out, everybody. Billy Joe, help me get out of this. Billy Joe, she don't have anything to do with it. I'm sorry, Billy Joe. You pull me back into the politics. I'm trying to get out. You pull me in. Why you do that to me?
Anyway. That's what friends are for.
Oh, yeah. Friends like you, I need to slap them out. Oh, that hurt. Why you hit me like that?
That was that ghost up there.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a ghost in the mouth. Why you hit me?
I didn't hit you.
You saw it, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought it was a ghost up there.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a ghost. Now that you got me into politics, thank you.
You're welcome.
Smart asteroids. I didn't swear. I'm going to say this, and it's going to be very short, believe it or not. It's not going to be long-winded. We need more jobs, but we need higher paying jobs, and higher paying jobs with benefits. And you know what we don't need, America? Congress. We don't need for you to keep letting corporations pay zero taxes. We don't need for you to keep cutting taxes for the wealthiest among us. We don't need that. Then you might say, whatever your excuses are, blah, 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 blah. Let me throw it to you this way. The more we don't take money in revenue from the super wealthy into corporations, the less jobs there will be. There's an absolute direct impact. Less money we get from them, less jobs. Less jobs, less entitlement monies to go around. Now, if the corporations start paying their fair share, that'd be great. We'd have more revenue. But you know, I'm the kind of guy that I'll take the consolation prize, just like on a game show. I'll give you give me the consolation prize. If you don't want to have the super wealthy pay their fair share in taxes and the corporations, then require General Electric to use that money to hire 50,000 or more people at a higher rate of pay. Create the jobs. Because corporations and politicians in DC and Harrisburg and everywhere else, here's the new memo. You're no longer going to keep taking from the poor. You're no longer going to get zero taxes and expect us to sit here and say, thank you, can I have 3 more? No, what you're going to do is this. You're going to either pay your taxes, GE and Chevron, the billions that you owe, and they will come due right now, or you're going to hire people making $15 to $20 an hour, 50 to 60,000 of them. So either way, you're going to be losing a lot more money, and you're not going to pass it on to the consumer. Now, what can we do about it? Can't just demand that. I mean, come on, we're just 3 little humans. Come on. You're right, America. The 3 of us can't get it done. But the 300 million of us can get it done.
It's power in numbers.
So, here's what I want you to do, America. I want you to finally say, Carl matters. I matter. Zach Klein matters. And that Mendel matters. Albert Torcaso, he matters. Chrissy, everybody. Chris Weis, everybody. Not Chrissy, but Chris Weis. And then everybody. So here's
Don't
what you
forget
do.
Billy Joe.
Just in Billy Joe, of course, and Gladys, and Yuri, and everybody, Katrina, everybody else at the station. Did I forget anybody? Oh yeah, John, everybody. So if I forgot anybody, sorry. But at any rate, here's what you got to do. You're going to have to bother Congress. You're also going to have to bother the corporations. And it may mean cutting back on what you buy. It may mean changing your life. Because guess what? If the Pat Toomeys of this world is more interested in giving tax breaks to the corporations and to the super wealthy than the Pat Toomeys of this world need to come to grips with the fact that the people who are in extreme poverty are going to start standing up legally and peacefully, and it may mean simply by not shopping as much. Maybe not buying as much gas. Maybe calling Pat Toomey 24 hours a day and leaving him so many messages that his voicemail is full to capacity every time he walks in there or his staff walks in. And by the way, just in case, if you want to call Pat Toomey, say, hey! No, just kidding. But if you want to call any member of Congress, we all know it's 202-224-3121. And if you're just kind of tired of all this, you might want to call the president's comment line. And I think Chris has that number, but I don't know.
It's 202-456-1111.
And it doesn't count. I didn't want to get into politics, but you know what? And this is the truth. If you wonder why I always get into politics, it's because, my friends, I hate to tell you this. Politics controls every aspect of your life. So you do matter, but you do need to start changing the way you look at politics. I'm not talking about these campaign ads that get on your last nerve. I'm not even talking about the people that are elected. I'm talking about the people that are in there now or will be. You need to let them know you're there. And you know what? If GE can get $1 billion after not paying any taxes, maybe it's time you call Pat Toomey and ask, why can't every union worker get get $1 billion and not pay any taxes? Why can't Carl or Annette or myself or Chris or Zach or Billy, Billy Joe, stop paying, don't pay any taxes and get money back? Because what makes GE so special? Forget the politics. Just ask yourself, why are these corporations so dang special? And I'm not going to do any more politics because we got Annette coming up. I just want to ask you a question to ask yourself. Why is it that just because a group of us wants corporations to pay at least their fair share, why is it liberalism or socialism? We're not asking people not to get wealthy. We're not penalizing them for getting wealthy. No, it's not about that. It's called doing what's best for your nation. It's called patriotism, which is what all these people have forgotten. And I got to give my props out to Warren Buffett, a super billionaire, one of the richest men in America. Warren Buffett, I got to give you a hand. You know why I'm doing that? Warren Buffett has said to Congress, raise his taxes, and that it is unfair. He said that he paid $6 million in taxes this year, legally. He did everything legal, but his tax bill was like $6 million. I think he said it was like 13%. But in proportion to his income, the person that serves him coffee paid 25% in taxes. So super millionaires or billionaires are paying 7 to 15% less than the average worker. And Warren Buffett, and you can check this online, Warren Buffett, super billionaire, says it needs to stop. So don't just look at Albert Torcaso and call him Mr. Liberal pain in the grass. Look at Warren Buffett. Now that man knows what he's talking about. And it's called patriotism. So if we can all get, instead of an amen, let's get an amen for patriotism.
Amen for patriotism.
Amen.